Bellerin. Ball comes across, and it's fired in by Emil Smith-Rowe.
Over the course of the last 5 to 6 weeks, Arsenal's players and staff have been busy preparing for the new campaign. And I've kept a close eye on all 6 of their pre-season friendlies. Here's a breakdown special, analysing the form. Let's kick off by introducing you to our first 3 signings of the summer, and all of them, I'm pleased to say, are settling in very nicely. We begin with Nuno Tavares. The 21-year-old, signed from Benfica, got off to a dream start by scoring against Glasgow Rangers. Here, you get a glimpse of his fabulous acceleration and strength before finishing nicely with his right foot. Our new left-back is absolutely rapid, so even if he or others are caught out in a positional sense, Tavares has the kind of blistering recovery speed that's needed to tidy up situations. This will be an asset, especially when we look to press or hold a high line. Tavares also has a gorgeous left foot. This magnificent cross deserved to be finished off against Chelsea. And I also like the way he's willing to glide past opposition players too, before looking up to play a progressive forward pass. Stylistically, Tavares is a good fit to deputise for Kieran Tierney. Inside the final third, he can make an impact. Sambi Lokonga was the next new face through the door, arriving from Belgian football with a glowing reputation, and it hasn't taken long to understand why Arsenal was so keen to bring him in. For a 21-year-old, Lokonga has an extremely calm aura in possession. Never rushed, he's a midfielder that makes time for himself on the ball. It's important for the Gunners to move the ball forward with quality this season, and he's already struck up a good understanding with Tierney out on the left-hand side. This was good football all round. Here is another example of Lokonga picking out Tierney with an incisive pass. When he gets hold of that ball, runners need to give him angles to hit. I loved this brilliant ball over the top by Lokonga for Pepe at home to Chelsea. The weight was perfect, and from that pass, Arsenal were denied a clear goal that should have stood. Comfortable in tight spaces, always wanting to get on the ball and make something happen. I'm convinced Lokonga will become a real favourite at Emirates Stadium. He's a classy young footballer that suits the Gunners' style of play. Mikel Arteta's headline signing is £50 million central defender Ben White. And in terms of first impressions, I think the former Brighton star has hit the ground running. It wasn't easy entering the fray as a defender during a chaotic second half against Chelsea, but White showed that he has a nose for danger, making 2 outstanding blocks inside the 6-yard box. In the friendly at Spurs, our new centre-back was terrific, and this effortless switch of play as a pass we're going to see replicated over and over this term. White has good pace too, and that will be an insurance policy of sorts because of the way he covers danger on fast breaks. What you will also see from our new central defender is the sight of him stepping forward to break up attacks. When appropriate, White will follow strikers into their own half and try to dominate them physically. The England international reads the game exceptionally well, and he's assertive in the way that he defends. I was a Ben White fan before he joined the Gunners, so it's exciting to have him on board. He's a fast improving player that immediately improves Arteta's backline. Having watched all of the pre-season games, it's clear that Mikel Arteta wants Arsenal to win the ball higher up the pitch and force mistakes through pressure tactics. As it stands, that strategy is very much a work in progress. This clip from our clash with Watford at London Colney outlines the type of pressing game they want to adopt. Red shirts are in good positions to get tight, and collectively they force an effective turnover. There's been a conscious effort to squeeze up the field and try to suffocate rival teams. And when the shape is robust and when everyone's switched on, it can be a decisive tactic that provides you with extra goal opportunities. There is risk as well as reward though. Here, Bellerin follows his man into a very advanced area from the keeper's throw, but once they play around him, there's a hole to exploit, and White has to come across and deal With a 2v1 that is stacked in Tottenham's favour, small margins can make a big difference. This concession doesn't stem from a press as such, but look how keen Holding is to push up and get tight to Ziyech in a very similar way. Once he's bypassed, Chelsea had a 2v1, and to their credit, they executed the breakaway superbly. Selecting the right moments to press is going to be crucial. We've seen a little bit of everything across the pre-season friendlies. At times, Arsenal have played some swashbuckling football, but they've also made a number of mistakes. Let's take a closer look. On occasion, the players have combined beautifully with some razor-sharp one- and two-touch football that's been easy on the eye. Nicolas Pepe has been consistently lively and determined to make an impact. Early on in pre-season, Adrian Clarke made a big impression, scoring against Rangers and Watford. This run and curling finish was delightful from the young striker. And this is top-class combination play against Millwall, who were bamboozled at times by some sparkling pass and move football. Youngster Flo Balogun rounding off a lovely move very nicely indeed. Defending set pieces is a key area to work on. Relatively simple dead ball routines have undone them too regularly through pre-season. Inside their own box, Arsenal have not won the first contact often enough, and they've reacted slowly to the second balls. Rectifying situations like this, where Bellerin is left in a 2v1 at the far stick, will certainly be a priority on the training ground. Opponents will press the Gunners when they pass out from the back, and when that happens, decision-making inside the defensive third must be better. Here, El Neni has nowhere to go, he loses the ball, and a goal is unnecessarily conceded. Arsenal under Arteta have scored many goals from moves that start in deep areas, but loose passes like this one from Bellerin have also proved costly. Lessons, I'm sure, will be learned for when the matches matter. So let's wrap things up by picking out the form players of pre-season. Now, rather than picking out one main man, I've hedged my bets by plumping for two, starting with Thomas Partey. The Ghanaian was in majestic form on our tour of Scotland, oozing quality every time he touched the ball. This slide rule pass for Pepe was one of many. Partey's forward passes always seem to have a purpose and zip on them, and it helped to spark a lot of promising attacks. Partey's physicality also stood out in pre-season, reminding us that he can be a midfield enforcer of sorts when needed. This scenario here showcases what a powerful presence Partey is in the middle of the park, anticipating the pass quite brilliantly to turn the ball over for Smith Rowe to have a pop-up goal. Until he picked up an untimely injury against Chelsea, Partey had enjoyed a marvellous pre-season, looking every inch the dominant, all-round midfielder we signed him to be. We might even see him on free kicks this season, judging by the quality of this effort in the match at Hibs. What a goal this would have been. I've also been impressed by the attitude and quality of Alexandre Lacazette's performances. On the eve of the new season, he looks hungry and sharp. Lacazette's main job is to score goals, of course, but he's also a very good defender, dropping in to nick the ball away from opponents on a consistent basis. Having a striker that's happy to go hunting for regains is a big plus, and in this clip, Lacazette's tackle paves the way for him to have a shot on goal just a couple of seconds later. The frontman's link-up players caught the eye as well. His instinctive flicks have helped to create a number of good openings. There's been no rustiness at all. Lacazette's touch has been spot on, and his awareness of others absolutely pin sharp. The striker has been among the goals too, converting this Chambers cross with a firm far post header against Millwall at London Colney. Based on his form across pre-season, I do think it will be a surprise if Lacazette doesn't start the opening game. He's been Arsenal's brightest forward this summer.